hat trick for Kane over the weekend for the Edmonton Oilers, who take a lead in the Battle of Alberta series. And Kane has been absolutely magnificent for the Oilers since joining them.
10 goals in 10 games in the playoffs. He was great. You're right, in the regular season, part two. It was a weekend of the sandpapery guys getting it done, right? He gets the hat trick. Kadri gets the hat trick. So, one of those, and that's been the change in that narrative, which is a good thing. Remember, the Leafs thought early on in their playoff woes, we need to get tougher, so they brought in the Wayne Simmons of the world, the Cal Cliffords of the world. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to get tougher to play against, but that player needs to know how to play the game as well, and that's what you get with Kadri and with Kane. Two guys that, yes, can be sandpapery, can drop the gloves potentially as well, but also can put the biscuit in the basket.
Right. Friday's poll, we asked you who should be primarily responsible for hiring assistant coaches, the head coach or management. The head coach got 85% of that vote. More on that in a moment. On Kadri, who is a UFA to be this summer. And look, I think he is going to hit a home run.
Yeah,
because I think
he's
completely out of the Canucks' range.
Yeah.
First of all, you may be bringing JT Miller back, at which point you would have three centers for two spots, or if you wanted to stack them, three. But I think Kadri is completely out of the Canucks' range.
He'll be 32 at the end of training camp too. Kadri.
Will he? Is he really that old? Wow.
He's 31 now. October 6th birthday, so 32 at the end of camp. Yeah.
Nevertheless, I think he's in a position to command a bigger deal than Evander Kane. Season he's having, plays the middle, all of those things. Whereas Kane has some baggage. If the Canucks thoroughly checked out Evander Kane away from the rink and everything came back, hey, he's turned over a new leaf, then to me he's really interesting here. Because, number one, he is that sandpaper, if you will. He's an all-situations player. He's a power forward. He's a goal scorer. With the centermen that they have, particularly Pettersson, and if Miller comes back, I think you're looking at a fantastic complement. The question is, are you going to be comfortable in this market bringing in a player with that history?
This is a market that is
more... And let me be clear. I don't give a shit about whether or not he puts a jogging suit or his coat and tie on for the team bus or for the team flight, whatever the case may be. This is not dress code related.
No.
Go ahead, sir.
No, nor taxes related. I think we can get past those missteps as well. It's about the treatment of the other people on this planet. And I don't know that all of the Canucks...
And gambling as well, too, right? You'd have to be absolutely convinced that is not a part of...
Yeah.
Because that's the easiest way to get on the wrong side of sports commissioners.
I don't know that there's an internal investigation that the Canucks could do that would satisfy a lot of people in this market. I think that the hockey world has done themselves in by looking after their own. And I don't think anybody's going to, think that an internal investigation by the Canucks will satisfy what needs to be investigated. I think it's too much headache for the Vancouver Canucks, especially for a player of that age. Great that he's doing it right now. Same thing with Kadri. Again, Kadri's regular season was bonkers. 87 points in 71 games. And he doesn't have the backstory of Evander Kane. I wouldn't invest in Nazem Kadri either. Because, again, you don't give long-term deals. And Evander Kane's not signing a 2-year deal. He's not. I don't think there's a chance in hell.
And Blake, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong there, but I'm also not going to put any limits on it because I think he's a very unique case in free agency. For all the reasons you outlined. How many teams are going to be willing to make a commitment long-term? On the term.
Yeah.
I could absolutely see some teams making a commitment on the dollars if they feel that they're a piece or two away, if Evander Kane satisfies their team needs, just trying to protect themselves by not going long-term on it. So I could see a world where there's a 2-year deal at a high valuation with a chance to win a cup that Evander Kane might sign.
Oh, if it's with a cup contender and it's 2 years at $6 million, maybe. Maybe,
but you think there'll be a team out there that offers some term, like 4, 5, 6 years?
A non-cup team. And like a team like, again, I don't think the Vancouver Canucks are going to do this at all. But if the Canucks were able to make some headway with the Evander Kane's camp, I think it's a 4-year deal. I mean, and really, if you take out the backstory, that's not crazy for a guy
that would be perfectly reasonable.
He'll be 31 in training camp.
I mean, that would be perfectly reasonable.
So I think he's getting a 4-year deal somewhere. And let's say he's also been, I think it's been relatively public. His financial orders are not in order.
No.
And it behooves him to make the most amount of money possible. I don't think there's a hometown discount to be had here.
No, I don't think there will be a hometown discount at all. To me, the question is, would he sign a shorter-term deal for bigger money or just take the term? I think the total value of the deal, as you say, may well be the difference. As for Kadri and the other hat trick, I covered the World Juniors when there was an incident with Nazem Kadri in the handshake line against Switzerland. I want to say it was a World Junior semi. And we were trying to figure out what was said, what happened. We're talking to Nino Niederreiter, who was a member of the Swiss team at the time. And many of us walked away with the impression something was said to Nazem about his faith at some point in that game or in that handshake line. It was not particularly commonplace to see hockey players with names like that, with a Muslim faith, playing back, this was 2009, I want to say, something like that. Needless to say, a lot of things have been said to Nazem Kadri online in this series against the St. Louis Blues. Some horrific things. I saw his wife posted some screen grabs of some things they've been dealing with. He's had to have security. Bill Daly in the NHL head office has spoken to this. Now, the performance on the ice, I mean, that's one of his all-time games last night against the St. Louis Blues. It would look like, and I know he has denounced it all, but it looks like it is somewhat fuel for his fire, especially in the post-game interview when he says, hey, that one's for the haters.
And that's with everybody focusing on him. He's still able to get through. Like I would have been less amazed if they won, but his line mates made hay because they were wide open while they were focused on Nazem.
Yeah.
But for Nazem Kadri to finish on 3 goals while he is completely in their heads and they have eyes only for him, I mean, honestly, St. Louis got to be better. And I get into more of this in The Price is Right, but to me, the unbelievable moment is Perron after, I think, the second goal, attempting the flying elbow. And Kadri even saw that coming and sidesteps that and still just celebrates the goal. Like, oh, my gosh.
Although Perron was able to cross-check him near the head and got a fine,
got the fine
for it. But, I mean, the Blues look like they are dogs off the leash in the park running around trying to get at their antagonizer as opposed to playing hockey in that series.